Hello Leo, welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the career and financial energy for the sign of Leo for the month of September. Now do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. Let's go and see what we have here for you, Leo. Now I'm using the Gilded Tarot, the Ethereal Visions Tarot, as well as the Kipper Oracle deck. There are links to all of these decks in the description below if you'd like to pick them up for yourself. All right, let's go ahead and get all the cards out here and see what we have going on for you. Okay. All right, I think that's looking just about good enough to me for right now. We'll take 3 of these cards here to clarify as we go along. Energy on the bottom, you have the Two of Wands. So the Two of Wands is all about being at a fork in the road, being at a crossroads, being potentially in a deadlocked situation, and needing to decide between 2 paths, 2 wands, 2 choices, 2 options, 2 decisions. The thing is, the Two of Wands suggests it may be a good idea for you to kind of create a cache of knowledge to help you decide on which path is best for you. And so this is about researching, planning, discovering, doing that foundational legwork to help you decide ultimately on which path to travel down. It can be very beneficial to do that when you have this Two of Wands card that shows up in a reading. And you know, there is a deadlocked situation that you are dealing with right now. You have a good reading here that I'm seeing so far, just in my overall sort of quick glance perspective. But you do have this Two of Swords here in the middle, combining with the Two of Wands. I'll talk about that at length. Let's just talk about it now. So in the overall situation here, you do have this Two of Swords. This middle card is very important because it's this middle spot in the reading spills into the rest of the cards. And so this is a very, very important card. And the Two of Swords is feeling deadlocked, like feeling at a crossroads, like you're not necessarily sure. The Two of Wands says you see the road, right? You can see the person here on the Two of Wands card. They see the 2 options very clearly. They're having a hard time deciding on which path to go down because they need to gather some more information. Two of Wands is a little different. You don't see the road because you can see this blindfold here. And this suggests that there are maybe some thoughts that are troubling you, or there are some mental situations going on that are blocking you from really fully clearly seeing the path ahead. That's the Two of Swords energy, especially when it's combined with the Two of Wands. There's like big choice energy here showing up. And so my recommendation based on these 2 cards would be to do the thing in your life that results in the most amount of clarity. And so what might that look like? Well, you know, are you spending all of your free time, you know, watching Netflix? Are there people in your life who are filling, you know, your energy with negative thoughts? Or are there people in your life you're saying, you can't do this, you can't do that? Remember, you are the accumulation of the 5 people closest to you. And so, you know, those are just some examples, but, you know, what in your life can you remove or add that will result in the greatest amount of clarity for you? Because right now there needs to be some clarity. For you, I think that this is fact gathering, creating that cache of knowledge with the Two of Wands and the Two of Swords. Obviously, this is relating to your career or your financial situation because we're looking at your career finance messages for this month. So, yeah. Now, in the past, you have the Hermit, the Five of Cups, and the Ace of Swords here. So the Hermit talks about, this is the Virgo card. We are in Virgo season here. This is showing up in the past. But, you know, this is about solitude and introspection, and not only discovering the light in the lantern, but also finding the light within you. This is knowledge that you can't find in a textbook. Presumably, the hermit has consumed all of the textbooks. They've consumed all of the knowledge that you would find traditionally. Instead, this is knowledge that comes from the universe. You can see the hermit here is surrounded by the cosmos. And so sometimes we need to go within to find out the answer that we're looking for. In the past, some of you have recognized that you've needed to take an introspective approach to your situation. And now you're faced here with this choice. You may want to go back to something. So we're in this Mercury retrograde throughout like the entire month of September. It can be a good time to go to revisit something during these retrograde periods. Revisit and revise, during these times. And some of you may be revisiting this idea of introspection in your life to help you decide on the path that you need to choose. The Five of Cups, there's been something here that's been disappointing you with the Five of Cups energy. This is saying, instead of focusing on the outside noise or the things that have maybe led or resulted in disappointment, do what you can to come back to center, in this case, with the hermit. And so clearly there's been a disappointment here in the past. It's maybe leading you to this current present, this present energy of like, where do I go from here? How do I see? How can I see clearly? And perhaps the way that you see clearly is first creating that cachet of knowledge, as I've said, and I'll probably say more in this reading, but also trying to work through whatever situation disappointed you in the past, because I feel like that is affecting your present at the moment. You do have this Ace of Swords. There's a silver lining here, right? The Ace of Swords says there's a silver lining in your life. This is some type of success and victory that leads to a breakthrough. This is the idea of the clouds in the background clearing, making way for something new, making way for something good. So you love to see the Ace of Swords. This is in the lower row. The lower row looks very good for you. This is the subconscious. It's what you can't see or is hidden. It's even the way that you're talking to yourself, and it's also maybe what comes forward for you in your dreams. In your current situation, you have the Three of Swords, the Two of Swords, and the Ten of Pentacles. So I just noticed here we have Ace, which is 1, 1, 2, 3 of Swords, okay? So this disappointment is progressing forward with you. And I think for some, 1, 2, 3, right, that's a progression, right? Those numbers come one after the other, those cards come one after the other. And so this feeling of needing to decide where to go from here, this situation's progressing and moving along for you. Like, this idea that's coming into my mind is the world keeps spinning, right? We're strong, right? Humans are strong, but we're not strong enough to make the world stop spinning. It's always going to spin, Leo. And, the cycle is always going to turn. And so what can you do now to help yourself out is what I feel like saying. You're thinking about a separation. For some of you, this is not a romantic reading, but this is about your career situation. But some of you may have in the past year lost a job. Now, this is not coming in the future. This is not something that I'm predicting. This is showing up in the past with the Five of Cups here. In the past, disappointment, solo, and then you thinking right now in the current situation, thinking about separation from something in your career, your financial life. But the thing is, there's a separation. I think that there's been a separation here, and there's a silver lining. The thing is, there's a silver lining. I think that there's been a separation here. This separation is this is a blessing in disguise energy. This is giving you the opportunity that you need to zoom out and see something from a higher perspective, like the eagle. Have an eagle vision, right? Have eagle eye vision. See something, perch up on your ledge and see and look down into yourself and see from a higher perspective, is what I feel like saying. You have this Ten of Pentacles here, which is a major energy of abundance. The Ten of Pentacles is all about building your empire. It's one of these empire cards, building your legacy. It can be about inheritances. I always like to say, don't wait out or hold out for an inheritance. Don't wait out or hold out for somebody to save you. do what you can to build your own life and to build, a life that you are fulfilled by and fulfilled on if you are dealing with an inheritance. But the Ten of Pentacles is, a really good sign of abundance here, and it is showing up in the lower row. Lower row looks very good for you. In the future, you have the King of Cups, the Knight of Wands, and the Queen of Pentacles here. You actually do have this combination of an inheritance. The Queen of Pentacles is what I would consider to be the executor of an estate in the tarot, or somebody who's a recipient of a will or trust. The Queen of Pentacles is somebody who's extremely intelligent with money, budgeting, planning, saving, investing. Those are things that they are well suited for. And the Queen of Pentacles can be somebody who is extremely practical with their money. And so I think there is I said it 100 times, but there's a real silver lining here. There's a choice. I'm trying to decide what the choice could be around, but I think you're trying to decide on which path to go down. It's hard for me to say. It could be around like how you invest your money, what you do with your money. It could be about, I think some of you have separated from something, and again, this is like, okay, now I have some time on my hands, which way do I go? I think that's probably also very much in alignment with some of you. The Knight of Wands, we see you going somewhere here in the future. That is, I always like to say, that's like van life. If there's a card that could indicate van life in the tarot, it would be the Knight of Wands. It's throwing everything in the back seat and just kind of going and seeing what the open road has. But, going on a road trip. But the Knight of Wands, probably more relevant to a reading like this would be about, this could be a card that indicates your passions, your gifts, your talents. It says that you're a maverick and you have a lot to offer. King of Cups, take care of yourself and try to be calm in the face of emotional challenge. Let's go ahead and see what else we have here. Let's take a look at these 3 Kipper cards. So you have thoughts, bad health, and pathway. Well, you have these 2 cards that I tie together, which is, for me, I don't like, it's just not my style to read about injury and illness. I just don't do that. So thoughts and bad health, this is literally your thoughts wreaking havoc on you. Okay, negative thoughts, negative thinking, poor health in your mental, status, poor mental health, or, an excessive amount of thinking or overthinking or an overindulgence in negative thinking is what I feel like is going on here. So I did want to say, with this lower row being the row that indicates how you talk to yourself or how you speak to yourself, it'd be very important for you to have an abundance mindset at this time and to really try to speak to yourself in an abundant way. There's this path that we've been talking about this entire time, right? There's this path that you're choosing, and this is your true north. So this is a very positive sign when you get this in a tarot reading, that you will choose the right path for you. You'll choose the right road. Let's go ahead and take a look at some more tarot cards here. Now, if you're enjoying this video so far, please do hit that like button and subscribe, as it really does help my channel grow in a big way. So you have the 10 of Swords, you have the 9 of Cups, you have the 2 of Wands, you have the Devil, 6 of Pentacles, and the Ace of Wands. Yeah, there was something that was clearly just gone here. The 10 of Swords in the past, it does say that the worst is behind you when you get the 10 of Swords in the past, but there's an element of finality with the 10 of Swords, meaning what has left you is probably not coming back. That's the idea of the 10 of Swords. The door is nailed shut type of deal. And so there's maybe a little bit of struggle that you're having in a separation between a person or a situation, probably a job, because we're looking at your career and financial situation of the past. But the future is very bright for you, okay? So the Devil, try not to be, excessively negative at this time, especially in the way that you talk to yourself. But 9 of Cups, 6 of Pentacles, 2 of Wands, Ace of Wands is incredible. So the 9 of Cups is one of the major wish cards. It's the fulfillment of a wish. 6 of Pentacles says that as you give, you receive. And, you know, it can be a card that, like, if you've been, you know, promised a job or promised a job raise, it can see that coming back to you in some ways. Or if you've lent money to somebody, it could mean that there is, you know, some charity coming back to you in some ways. The Two of Wands and the Ace of Wands, those cards come one after the other, and the Two of Wands has been the biggest card in this reading. Clearly, you have choices to make here. The Ace of Wands is about a side hustle or about starting something new, about physically getting started on something. It's an incredible card to find, and it's this idea of like kind of following your passion and getting a passionate new beginning in your life. So I love this reading for you. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe. Really appreciate you, and I will see you in the next reading.